Dear Kevin Smith, in January of 2008, my father died of a massive heart attack. And in February of 2010, I saw your new movie, Cop Out. Cop Out was worse. That's right, it was not only worse than other movies that I may have seen through the years, it was worse than the death of my father, the tragedy that shattered my life, the tragedy that I am still trying to recover from to this day. It was worse than that, because at least with the death of my father, I can console myself with the fact that he was great. He lived up to his potential. He was exceptional. The same could not be said of your movie, which in many ways is the death of your viability as an artist. In 1994, you directed the film Clerks on a shoestring budget. It made $3.2 million in theaters despite never playing in more than 100 theaters at once. It won awards at Cannes and Sundance and is generally recognized as one of the greatest indie comedies ever filmed. I love Clerks. Its raucous and raunchy humor revolutionized movie comedy. Almost all of the comedies, the major comedies anyway, produced through the 90s and the 2000s, the good ones and the bad ones, they owe you a debt of gratitude. You followed up Clerks with the 1995 film Mallrats, which garnered far less critical praise and is generally viewed as inferior to Clerks. But the truth about Mallrats is that it really is a genuinely funny film. It might not have the authenticity that Clerks had, but it had good gags, it had great comedic timing by Jason Lee, and it was a solid comedy film. It suffered tremendously at the time of its release from constant comparisons to its predecessor, but I think time has been kind to it. In 1997, you released a film called Chasing Amy, your most critically acclaimed picture to date with a 91% freshness rating on RottenTomatoes.com. It was also a box office hit, easily recapturing the $250,000 budget and netting nearly $12 million for Miramax. I don't think that Chasing Amy is your best film, but I do think that it is you at your best as a filmmaker. Clerks made you laugh and it made you think. Mallrats just made you laugh. Chasing Amy made you laugh and it made you feel. It was really the first time in your career that you discovered that the best comedies have heart. They have humanity. You can recognize the absurdities of life with a smile and with a sigh. Chasing Amy was followed in 1999 by a movie called Dogma, a dick and fart joke comedy that examines faith. Who else but you could pull that off, Kevin? I view this as your best film. It manages to be intelligent, impassioned, and thoughtful, while at the same time being stupid, silly, and raunchy. What a dichotomy, and what a great fucking movie. Following Dogma, you made a film called Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It was a comedy in the vein of Mallrats, raunchy and fun, but low on brains, and relatively without the heart that you discovered in Chasing Amy and ran with in Dogma. Still, I laughed. I took my mom to see it with me, and she laughed. I showed it to my ex-girlfriend's son, who was way, way age inappropriate, and he laughed. So it did its job. So, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. All of these films are, at least in my opinion, good. Some are better than others, some are smart and some are stupid, some are heartwarming and some are cynical, some are both, but they're all good. Then came Jersey Girl. Tisk tisk. Jersey Girl is not funny. It's also not particularly heartwarming, though it tries to be. Ben Affleck is like a lost child looking for a direction, and he's not getting one. I sure hope you thanked George Carlin before he died for saving this movie from being a total piece of shit. But you know what, Kevin? I'm really not that critical of this film. I'm really not. Because with every risk comes the possibility of failure. Every artist takes a tragic misstep here and there. I can see what you were going for with this film. I could see what it was supposed to be. You just didn't quite get there. So I can respect this film. I may not like it, but I can respect it. Following Jersey Girl, you made two films, Clerks II and Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Both are films in the vein of Dogma and Chasing Amy. That is to say that both films have warmth and humanity while also being raunchy as all hell. Good films, respectable films, films worthy of your oeuvre. Then came Cop Out. Fuck! What happened, Kevin? I mean, Jersey Girl sucked, but I could make excuses for Jersey Girl. What is the excuse for this? With Jersey Girl, I could tell myself what you meant to do. With this film, it's obvious that all you meant to do was make a cliché studio comedy to appease morons. Was your house not big enough, Kevin? Do you not have enough money to send your daughter to the college she needs to go to? How badly did you need the money for this movie? Did you get in deep with the mob or something? This movie has no heart, it has no intellect, and worse, it's not funny. Okay, I might have had a chuckle or two, but I laughed more in the first 10 minutes of Clerks II than I laughed in this entire movie. And in a theater with maybe 50 other people in it, I was the only one laughing. So I actually liked it better than the crowd I saw it with. After the film ended, I heard a guy behind me say, "Oh well," as in, I thought this movie was going to be funny, but oh well! First of all, Tracy Morgan is the worst thing to happen to comedy since Rob Schneider. His voice sounds like a circus clown getting anally raped by a screechy chalkboard. By the way, did Bruce Willis even know he was in a movie? He looked drugged. Did you just give him some Klonopin and push him on the set? I mean, what was your instruction to him as a director? Hey, Bruce, make sure you don't have any facial expression. Don't act. Don't emote. We don't want that here. What we want is just a blank stare. Look like you're bored. Look like you're in the audience for this movie. Yeah, that's good. Nothing. Nothing here, folks. I'm Bruce Willis. I'm in Cop Out. Why? No one knows. Okay. Shoot. When I was talking to my friends after we went and saw this movie, every single one of them was like, "Oh yeah, it was okay." And they didn't want to talk about it. No one wanted to talk about the movie afterwards. That's a bad sign. Every time I've ever shown anyone one of your movies, they've wanted to talk about it. People have wanted to argue about it. People have wanted to take a position that, "Oh, I really liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was bad. I thought it was offensive." When I walked out of this movie, no one cared. No one wanted to talk about it. No one felt one way or the other about the movie. It was middle of the road, it was bland, it was mediocre. No one gave a flying fuck, Kevin. You are a great filmmaker, Kevin. You may not believe me when I tell you that, but you are. And you might say, "Oh, I don't move the camera enough." Fuck the camera. You move me to laughter and sometimes even to tears. Well, maybe not tears, but my eyes well up a little bit. You know what I'm saying. Man tears. We don't actually let anything fall down the cheek, but it's up in here. It's like a glistening thing going on right here. But this film, Cop Out, and how apropos a title that turned out to be, doesn't move anything but the contents of my stomach. This film is a betrayal of your talent and a surrender to the idea that you have no talent. Is this what you've decided to be, Kevin? Another mediocre hack? You used to be more. And you still can be. Your fan, TJ. There are weasels fighting in my house.